Welcome to the Don't Call Me Midlife podcast.
Hello, we are so excited about today's episode. We have one of the most fun and energetic people I know. It's Kira. She is, I guess she's a CEO, founder of her company, Frame of Life. But what she is a visual storyteller. And she works with entrepreneurs with their doing content or pictures, but she also works with just women or men that want to know how to preserve their pictures and how to make those memories last, and also how to tell the story around the picture. It's really beautiful. I mean, these are things that Nicole and I need to do, right? With our pictures.
Yes, even if I wasn't in business, these are just tips that I would want to know just to have in my back pocket. And she does give some great tips. So
you have to listen to
stay tuned.
Some
You do.
iPhone tips too. Like you
Yes,
are not going to want to miss this.
Yes. And if you are listening, make sure you check it out on YouTube because she shows the phone and step by step. And it's really, really incredible. So
yes. All right, let's get into it.
Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm so excited for this episode. I can't wait
Nicole.
to dive in and learn all the things that we're learning. But first, Alex, what's in your cup?
I am doing a 7-day cleanse. So I have a little shake in there. It's like shakes in the first couple days, and then I can eat some food on day 3. So, I'm excited about it. It's only 7 days. I can do it.
You can do it. You just started, right?
Yes, today.
Oh, you got this.
Good thing we're not recording tomorrow because I heard you get a little hangry. So,
Okay.
So today I am still good. I've done a 24-hour fast before. I am good. What is in your cup?
I have some collagen. I'm trying Dr. Mary Claire Haver's. It's like lemonade acai collagen, and it's really good. So it was like a starter packet she had with like fiber and DHA pills with, I don't know, vitamin D and K. I don't know. You're supposed to like mix vitamin D and vitamin K. So this came with it because I'm like, let me try it. It's really good. And my boys keep wanting it.
Yeah.
And
is
I'm like, no.
She's that big menopause doctor, right?
Yes.
You love her.
I do.
We need to get her on the podcast.
We do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta turn my notifications off. Sorry, girls. Okay.
That's okay. Okay, so we've got I've known this person for probably a few months, but she has quickly become one of my favorite people in the world. I think she has more energy than like me ever. And just such good ideas and just so creative and just a really, really good woman, mom, wife. And she works her butt off with her business. So we are so excited to have you here, Kiera.
Yay! That means
What's in your cup?
Which cup? I have like 100.
You do have like 100 there.
There's more. There's more. Like,
oh my God. You're like quadruple fisting, not even triple fisting. Oh, okay. Tell us your most interesting drink there.
Most interesting is I am trying to like do the bone brothy thing right now. I'm cold and I'm like trying to like cleanse out a little bit. We're going to the Kentucky Derby in a couple weeks and like I'm really excited.
Ooh, fun.
So I'm trying to just like get all the liquids in and hope that does something.
Backing up your hydration
we'll
before you drink all the mint juleps. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I've never been to the Derby, even though I went to college in the South. I know a lot of people that did, but I think that sounds fun. Are you going to wear a hat and everything?
Oh, I got hat. I have too many hats. I have too many.
That's so fun.
It's a matter of how to get all the hats there in a carry-on. You know, like I don't want to pack them, so it's like, am I going to?
Wait, do you own them? Did you rent them or own them? I may need to borrow one because I have a fundraiser that you're supposed to wear like a hat in May.
Oh, I got you, girl. And it's like all fun. I got it. Really, I got so many. It's a problem.
Yay. Okay, I'm glad we covered that. So this woman is incredible. She calls herself a visual storyteller, right? Mm-hmm. So think about that. That's someone that's really special. And I love her story. She's going to tell us a little bit about it. She helps entrepreneurs with their content, with their photos. But what she also does is by visually storytelling, she helps moms preserve their photos or maybe even tell them what to do with it. I mean, I met with her for like 5 minutes one time and she's telling me all these things to do with my photos because I've done nothing. And she was getting a little anxiety because of that too. So tell us your story. Her company is called Frame of Life Project on Instagram. And her website is beautiful, beautiful. The words you use, I love, love, love your website. It like portrayed you perfectly. But you tell us what your story is.
That's so sweet. Well, so this time of year, I get really extra emotional because it kind of ties into my story. In what was it, 2015, we lost my mother-in-law, and the year after, we lost my sister. And when we lost my mother-in-law, it was like the 1-year anniversary of our wedding, and it was right when we were starting to think about having kids and what that meant. And very quickly, my husband's family went from a family of 4 to just him and his dad. And I found out I was pregnant, and I'm like, oh my God, like life is all happening really fast. And I got really sentimental about how do I portray what life is with our family and what generations have passed now, and how do we tell those stories as we move forward. And then I wanted to be able to document what was happening as I became a mom, as I witnessed all these changes in my body happening, as I watched my daughter come out and grow, and what that meant to life. And I was a photographer, so as that was all happening, so like my natural way of processing grief and documenting what was happening and being able to see everything that was unfolding in front of me was through the lens of my camera, and really utilizing that tool to show what was happening. I saw that like it was really hard as a young mom to be able to do work, be a mom, have your husband have a high powered career, and be the photographer, be the mom, like all of it. It was like really hard to juggle all of the things. So I spent a lot of time just at home really trying to focus on what mattered most, like raising the kids, but then also working with very specific clients that were connected with their stories and what they wanted to put out in the world, and really helping drive that connection through their branding. So it kind of started there.
I love that story.
Wow.
So did you, I feel like visual storytelling has been part of your story since you were a photographer before life started happening at a very, fast pace for you. What, did you slowly start doing things just for yourself, or were you building things for other people and then you just took that into your own world?
Yeah. So what I noticed was that what set me apart was that I could connect with people through the art of storytelling. So I learned that photos mean more and video content means more when it's driven with a story behind it, and if there's a real purpose for what you're trying to convey. So I started showing that with branding photography through some of my business clients, and really trying to understand like what do we want to get out of your cycling studio? What story are we trying to tell here that's just different than strap in your shoes and ride the bike, right. It's just like, how do we make this cooler and more relatable and get people wanting to come in? And it was a really fun way to start connecting on that side with businesses, and really like developing their storylines and helping witness them grow because they started forming connections with people because of the stories they were telling. And then on a personal side, with the families I was working with, I wasn't driven to just work with one-off families chasing screaming kids in the public gardens, like on mini sessions all the time. Like I was so tired having little kid at home, and I didn't have the time anymore to be able to like do all these shoots and have 60 shoots a year. It was more that I had to get specific about who I was working with. And I found that the clients that stayed were the ones that wanted to tell their story more. So I wouldn't come just once a year. I would come a couple times a year and weave their storyline throughout the images that we did. We'd do pancake making sessions, and we would go to parks, but it would be a park that meant something to them. And we would play with the flowers that their mom planted in the backyard. It was something more driven to connect the photos to the person's story a little bit more. And it just filled me more.
Oh, yeah. So that sounds like you're working with clients more. You think of the photographers, like you're saying, like do the photo sessions, right? That's one thing. Here's what you wear. Let's go do your Christmas card. How do you work, whether it's, someone who's working on their branding, like at your cycle studio, or a family? What is the process that you use? Because thinking of some people, I wouldn't necessarily know either for my business or my family, maybe my story all the time, right? Mm-hmm. How do you get that out of people besides therapy?
Yeah, wine. No, like wine is also that gets people talking. But I think honestly, it's a lot of just talking and listening, understanding where they live, why they live there, what are they doing with their business. Like, I know you and I, Alex, have started working together a little bit, and it's really digging into what it is you're trying to convey to people who are consuming your content, and why are you unique out of everybody in the world? Like, why should they look at you and come to your website or talk to you on DMs and Instagram? Like, what is it that sets you apart? And then we focus there and like dive into that, like really upplay the things that make you unique and have fun with it. And it's just more about having fun instead of being so serious and like be like, we have to have the light right and you can't turn off of 45 degrees, and just making sure we have fun. And I think
it's more of that real content, right? Like those real pictures, those real moments, like even with the family, like you're saying, if maybe they have a recipe that they use every Saturday morning, whatever, for pancakes, you know? I love that. Ooh, I want you to do that at my house too.
You have the best pancake spread.
I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to cook for my photo shoot. That's awesome. I mean, even thinking about the spin studio, like the stories and the meaning that come out of that, right, would be powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think it takes a very unique eye to be able to capture somebody's personality through a picture. I think I can't say, oh, anybody could take a good picture, because that is absolutely not true. You definitely have to have a talent, but I'm just thinking back on like my wedding photographer. Like when I got the pictures, I was in awe that he was able to capture so many people's personalities without even knowing them in a moment. And it just made all the difference in the world. And I think with what you're talking about, visual storytelling, that is in essence what you're bringing to everyone. And I think that's just such a gift.
Yeah, you have to be an observer. It's like, it's really kind of amazing how much you start to observe and you realize about people by just watching a little bit, and you can see the sparkle in someone's eye when you're talking to them about what actually lights them up, you know, like maybe they actually hate cooking and they don't want to do a pancake session because like that's the last thing that they could do. And then let alone trying to flip a pancake when they can't do it.
Right.
But you can really like learn a lot about people by their body language and what they bring forward first and talk about. And I think it's just so fun to just get down on, like, whether I'm working with kids, like I'll get down on the ground and be at their level and see life from their perspective instead of just like looking down at it. So it's like just relating with whoever's in front of your camera.
Now, how do you get, if you have a client, you know, a lot of the midlife ladies, maybe they're, you know, a little serious, or, you know, it's like, sometimes, like you said, what I love connecting with you on the fact of fun, right? Have you ever had a client that is just, you know, a little bit more on the serious side? They have like an awesome brand and they're an awesome person, but how do you get people to open up? Because I know doing that, and I know it would be for Nicole and I, it's a little bit more vulnerable, right? When you're telling your story, whether you're selling a Stanley or whether you have, you know, a studio, you've worked hard on your brand, right? And it's a personal brand too, no matter what you're doing. And what is your secret besides sort of listening, of getting people to open up to that vulnerability, whether that is something that they share or not, it doesn't matter, right? But you have to go to a sort of a deeper place in order to have that story. So how do you make someone, you know, feel comfortable?
I wonder if part of the secret sauce for me is that most of my clients aren't people that just Googled me and found me and will just meet off the street. So we have a long relationship. They see me posting about my everyday and how it's kind of messy and I'm doing the best I can, but this is where we're at. And then they know I'm a business owner doing the hustle. They see what's happening. So there's a lot of things we can relate to underlying that might not just be on the surface of photographer client. And then with my clients, it's never just one interaction. There's lots of different build-up points. It's that initial, like, I would love a photo shoot. And it's like, well, tell me about it. What are you looking for? What do you need these images for? Or is it just to have one picture on your LinkedIn bio, or is it to tell a full story for all of your freebies and like your whole brand? You know, like it can be very different in the amount of depth you need to go. Like if it's just a headshot, I'm not going to spend a million hours with somebody like trying to know them. Like I can make
sorry people. Right, that's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That's a little bit easier. I mean, you could you could like give someone a glass of wine or a skinny marg or something. Maybe.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Maybe we need to do that.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I don't care if it's 10 a.m. No.
My first photo shoot I ever did, I had, I wanted to like set up something with mimosas, and I kept drinking them because I wanted to relax. And I mean, I think that was the most relaxed photo shoot I ever did. But yeah,
Was it good pictures, Nicole?
I know.
Was it good? Like, was it good content?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I always feel like my first photo shoots go well, and then the second one, I don't know if I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just better the first time, and then the second time maybe I'm not as prepared.
You always look good.
Yeah.
Our photo shoot was fun together. We did one in Colorado, and that was fun. It was long.
Yeah.
It's a long day. I didn't realize when I did a first photo shoot, it was my best friend that took the pictures for my cookbook. And I think it was only a couple hours, but I was like exhausted. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I can smile anymore. But
the smiling hurts your cheeks.
It hurts. It hurts. Now, do you ever like, because you do this for so many other people, I feel like we're normally a bad client to ourselves, right? Like doctors are the worst patients, that type of thing. Do you ever get in front of the camera, and how do you are you just constantly recording and taking pictures of your kiddos? Like, do you ever, now that you have a full-fledged business, right? And you have 2 little kids, PS, and your husband travels a lot for his job, right?
Yeah.
Like you're solo parenting a lot. Do you tell us how you do it within your family?
Well, I do try to get in the picture. I don't love it. Like, I hate being in the picture, but I want to show up for my kids. And my daughter said recently, like, she was looking at videos, and I got so annoyed because she's like, Mommy, where are you? And I'm like, I'm talking to you, and I'm taking the video. Like, I'm in it. I'm so in it.
Yeah.
But they don't see it. And when she said that to me, it made it like so, like, this gut punch of like, I have to make it a priority every year to be in at least one shoot with my kids. And like this year, our daycare did like a fundraiser, and I was like, well, $50, it could be terrible. It's going to be 5 p.m. They're going to be melting. I don't care. We're going to try it. And they came out to be like the best pictures, and it was a 5-minute shoot. I was like, just try it. See what happens. If you get one picture, it's great. And I think it was really worth doing that, and it was a good reminder of like, even if my husband wasn't even in them. I was like, oh, he's traveling. I was like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to do it again. These came out cute.
You will do it again. I love this evolution of taking more video too. John just said to me the other day on our vacation was like, why do you take so much video? Are you going to post it? And I'm like, no, I take a lot that I don't post. I do post a lot of videos, but I was like, I had one of those moments recently where my dad passed away suddenly 11 years ago. And my son, he's like writing some rap music, and he wanted a video of my dad for his video. And literally I could not find one because my phone only goes back so far. I had to look up on the camcorder. It was like basically our wedding video, but I was just like, I think I love the pictures. I love those, but I love this like video just of us sitting at the table or on vacation, or, I think that is taking up a lot of capacity on my phone, but I think it's really special to have because I don't have that. So on my vacation, like I was trying to take videos of my mom, or I would pretend I was taking a picture of the boys and my mom, and I'd be like taking a video. So it's
good. I mean, that's my biggest trick with getting pictures of my kids is I just take video and then I'll screenshot it or hit the tap. Like you can tap on your phone if it's an iPhone and like take a picture while you're recording the video, and that way like I don't miss it.
Wait,
you can't.
Wait,
what was that?
Hold on.
What's that little?
You're taking a video, like we do a video on our iPhone.
You do a video on your iPhone and you start recording. There's this like little button right there, like the white button. You just hit that and you like get a photo while you're doing it. So
Get out.
Yeah, and
but it won't stop your video.
No, and it doesn't even make a sound. It doesn't even make like a like it used to do.
Oh my god!
Where it would make a.
That's a good idea, especially for kiddos.
Yeah, but also you can just take just tap the whole screen so it's the full video, and then do a screen capture of it and crop it down, and then you get a picture. So especially when they're moving so fast, or they're like riding bikes or playing sports or something where it's like really hard to capture them right in that 1 second, you take a video and then do that screen capture or do live photos. That's also what I've been doing a lot as my kids are like still in that crazy age. Is the live photos catches like, I think it's 2 seconds before and after the photo. So it gives you a spread that you can pick the main photo out of. So they're not.
Wait, if this works, I just did it, you guys.
Yeah, it does.
Gosh. I just did it. But it's funny because I took like 10 pictures because it didn't click, right? Yeah. I was like, wait, I don't think it got it. I don't think it got it. Oh, okay. Okay. So that is like a major takeaway.
Yeah, but don't get too excited when you're tapping it because you'll shake your video. Like, just tap it.
Oh, yes. I could see myself getting very excited. Yay! I got it.
So are there certain settings that you have on your phone to get like the best picture, or do you have like what's it called? Like not a filter, like a preset.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's I think those are two separate questions.
Okay.
I know nothing about this. We could have like an hour-long lesson with you about how to take pictures.
Do you have a tip sheet? Do you have a download?
Yeah. You should make one. I can make one for you guys, actually. I think that'd be a fun takeaway. There's some settings that I like to go in and do, and let's actually do that for you guys. Like, I'll go through and
let me grab my phone.
A little takeaway of how to do it. But
I don't know what I did with my phone. Oh, here it is.
Well, and now people don't want you. I just took a picture of someone on the beach, like of a couple, but they were like younger than us guys. But they're like, don't zoom in. We can do the zoom in, right?
Yeah.
Like I used to always want to zoom in, but now people do their own editing, I guess.
Oh, they do a crop zoom after. Well, sometimes the zoom lens will make it like it's more grainy. So like they probably wanted to keep it on their own. But this is what you can do. Like, are we on iPhones here, friends?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm not good with the other ones.
If you have an Android, don't listen.
Just hit fast.
Then you have to press stop. I know my sister-in-law has one, and one of my best friends has one. It's annoying.
Oh my God, that's how they can do this. Okay, go to like scroll down on your screen so you can get that search bar that pops up
at the bottom.
Like go on your main screen, like swipe down. Yeah, you get the search bar. Hang on. Wait, mine's not doing it.
Like I'm searching for an app?
Yeah, and like you can like write settings down here, like like this. So like you're searching for an app. Type in settings or just go to settings.
I know what settings is.
Yeah, you can do that. Mine has too many apps on my screen, so I don't want to do it. Okay, and then in settings on that top search panel, type in camera.
Oh, and I didn't even know there was a search engine there.
Yeah, then go to the camera button. There's like an actual camera. It like shows your camera thing. This one.
Oh, okay.
This is real compelling content, but
yes. Oh, well, okay.
This is the stuff everybody wants to know.
Okay, so for people that aren't watching, it's it looks like the camera lens.
Yeah,
right?
The actual
I've never
camera app
here.
that you're gonna get.
It's the gray one.
So this one we're gonna do some setting change. Like we're gonna adjust some settings. So I'm gonna tell you what I like to do, just for me personally. So I like to record my videos at 1080p. And 60 seconds, 60 FPS, which is frames per second. I don't know. What setting are you guys on that top one?
I was at 4K at 60 FPS.
Okay.
Which is
fine.
What does that mean?
It's fine. They're going to be super large files that can appear in 4K when your TVs can do 4K, which we can't do quite yet. So it'll be great, but like, do we really need it? So I just shoot in 10K or 1080p because it's very compatible with everywhere. Still.
Okay.
60 frames per second is cool because it just, if you do like a slow-mo from it, it'll make it smooth. That's the only reason you want to do that. And then I just have record it slow-mo at 120 frames per second. The 1080p at 120.
Oh, I had 240.
Oh, that's going to be really slow. I mean, it's going to be fine. It's going to be all just really creamy and the bigger files, I think, because it's like that's how many.
I don't do slow-mo a lot. I never do slow-mo. I'll do it for a reel. You can slow it down, but I won't ever do slow-mo.
That's where I do slow-mo too. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to like not have it accidentally record and take up all that space. Like, because I feel like it's going to be like all that, like really, really stop pretty.
Okay, so let's just repeat. So we've got record video at 1080p at 30 frames per second.
At 60 frames per second.
Oh, 60. Just kidding.
I'll make
And
a
then
cheat sheet.
slow-mo is 1080p at 120
Yep.
frames per second. Okay, I got the first two.
Okay.
Yay.
Now, cinematic, I have at 30 frames per second. That's going to just be like raw out of the camera. It's just going to make it already slower. So what is yours at cinematic wise?
1080p at 30.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So the most important one I want to go to is the formats here. Like it's the next one. And you'll see that there's high efficiency and most compatible. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Wait, where did you go into that?
Formats. It's right after the record.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when you're in there, I like to shoot in most compatible. So I don't know if any of you guys have made albums recently. I don't think you have, but if you've gone in, I don't know why, but if you've gone in and sent a photo from your phone to any of the major album makers like Chatbooks or MPix or Shutterfly or anything, if you send something that's been recorded as a high efficiency file, it's going to be saving your pictures as .heic, which is like not JPEG, and it's not readable by many of these manufacturers yet. I think in time that's going to change, so it'll probably be fine. But I rather have it one less step. So I just do most compatible, and it saves everything as JPEG, and it's just ready to go. And you don't have to do an additional conversion.
Yeah, I've been doing the conversion on my desktop.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt though. It's like one extra step. So you can do photo in different modes. I don't even go there. And I'm not shooting on RAW. You could, if you are like doing this crazy landscape that you want to like print the size of your wall, like you might want to shoot in RAW. That's going to be a huge file. But for most people, you really don't need that. Like the quality, like the highest you're printing is a 8x10, maybe 11x14. Like I don't think it's necessary to shoot in RAW. And those are really like the main settings I mess with. So I won't like bore this whole episode all of a sudden. But I can give a little guide for you guys that you can just do the quick settings to change that will make it a lot easier to have your photos accessible when you need them.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I think that's so helpful.
And then I don't remember your other question. It was different. Oh, the editing, like what you're doing to edit a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So typically I don't edit unless like it needs it, like because a lot of times the new iPhones especially like are balancing the images pretty well. But anytime I do want to edit it, I would go in and hit the edit button, and I like to do adjust, and I hit that magic wand thing.
Okay.
Like I don't know if it's going to show because I'm a little blurry. Do the magic
what
wand.
What does that do? What does that mean? So I will do that too.
It's auto, so it's going to adjust all the settings just a little bit, and then you can like slide it up or down if you like it. Like it'll usually change the skin tones the most. Like it makes like the face a little lighter, which is always good. But see how it's like messing the background up a little bit. So I'll just adjust it slightly, and I always will play with highlights because that's like the clouds or like light that's behind you, or any places that like get no detail in it. I'll usually like bring the highlights down a little bit and up the contrast. So the highlight, you'll see it when you scroll. It'll tell you which one's highlights. It's like this little circle-y guy. And then contrast, I'll often, but that magic wand already kind of does that. So it's a good quick one to hit, and then it like you can adjust from there. But those are like the main things I do even when I edit my client sessions. Those are like the three things I really play with. It's like exposure, contrast, and highlights. So it's a good way to like, if those are the ones you want to really share without swiping up the filters on Instagram, it's a good way to.
I like that. I have some friends that think they're like professional editors, and I think they use all those things. And I'm like, here's a photo, you edit it.
Yeah, let them do it.
let's crop our arm off, maybe. I don't know. or my, but that's so funny. I didn't think I like that tip of just the highlighter and the contrast, because I'll try to play with them all, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a photographer. No. Like I don't even, and you can tell when people do it. Like, now there are so many filters, especially on social media. I just learned that you could do a filter on your stories. Yeah. And I did not know that. So
I think I told you that.
It's changing every day.
I was like, oh, I could look a little bit more glamorous. That would be nice.
A little less sleep deprived.
But then when people see me, they'll be like, who is that, Alex?
Pass out a filter.
Yeah.
People are going to be walking around with like a filter stick, like a popsicle stick with it. Yeah.
That's a good invention. Guys,
It
the
is.
only other tip I have that I think would be really helpful from the series of like us talking about getting in the picture more, I love using the timer. Like, do you guys ever use the timer on your phone?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Yes.
That is like awesome way to get in pictures with your whole family, with everyone. The 10-second timer gives you enough of a countdown to run and jump in the shot. You can set it with your Apple Watch to go off, so like you don't have to do the run anymore. That's kind of fun. So if you have
you need to
Apple
make
Watch,
I got
a
free
guide for everyone. Yeah.
I'll leave that one.
I told her that. I was like, these
did.
tips are like genius. Like just 3 tips. I love, you know what? I love the timer. I use that all the time.
It's so helpful. And you just go through and you can pick out which key photo is the best. And then you can turn it into video and loop and bounce it. You can do all the things you want with it. So there's ways like to turn it, because it'll take 10 pictures really fast, and it like you can turn it into a little video if you go.
I'm like, girl, at our age, it's lucky we know how to do a reel.
I know,
mean,
right?
that took a while. That took a while
my gosh.
to figure out. We're still figuring it out. But that's
the thing about midlife, right? You're just always figuring it out, right?
Whenever, I don't know when you're not. And then it changes as soon as you do.
Right.
Like,
as soon as you got to figure it out. It's kind of like parenting. Just when you think you got to phase down, you're like, wait, come back.
Right. My kids are always like telling me what to do with the photos and all this stuff. And they're like, just give me your phone. I'm like, no, because you're going to mess it up. I know exactly how to do it. Now, what about those midlife ladies like us that literally haven't done anything with their photos for the past 15 years? Besides, I do have a bag upstairs. I think I spent $500 when Baker was 5 and bought all these printed photos.
Good.
And they're still sitting there. That's great.
Yeah.
My goal was to, so what about the people like us? Like literally, I think this wears on me like every year. I'm like, I'm going to do the photos. I'm going to do the photos. Like, what do we do if we've got camcorders with stuff? I have hard drives with photos. I have them on my iPhone. Like I'm sure Nicole is more organized than me with this situation.
Oh, I just have them in a box, it looks like not a shoe box, but just a box. But I personally like to have a picture in my hand. And I especially thought that it was helpful. I lost my mother-in-law a couple of years ago. And I just noticed that the first thing that everybody did is they went to the photo album. For me personally, I want to look at a picture in an album and flip it, versus looking at it through a phone. So I do print off pictures, but they're just not organized very well. But for my business, I want them easily accessible on either a hard drive or in an album in my phone. So mine are just all over the place.
It's okay. It means you have them and that there's something you can do with it. Like, 'cause some people don't even take the pictures and have them. But so I think the key that I've walked away with, so I spent 2020 to like just up to this year really helping families manage their photo collections, like while we were all stuck inside and trying to figure out ways to do something with your collections. And what I noticed most is that if we get so focused on doing it perfect and getting everything just right, like getting every single one of your photos in one specific place, backed up the same way, and then moving forward from that, like you can't actually do it perfect, because taking photos and having a photo collection is a cycle, and it always is going to continue to get added to, and it's something that you need to go back and refresh as you go, especially in the digital world. So anything we have on the cloud or on hard drives, hard drives are only designed to last about 5 years now. And I just had this happen in my business. Like one of my old cloud services decided to not hold cloud photos anymore. So all of my client galleries from 10 years ago are now not accessible on the cloud. So they just went away. And luckily I have them on backup hard drives. But what I noticed is like some of them are running a little slower and some don't even turn on. And you think that they're safe because you put them on a cloud or you put them on a hard drive. It's just really important to have them in multiple different places. And so through the bottom line of it all is that like what was most important was, instead of having every single photo ever in one place, it's having those ones that are the most important. So I like people to focus on the big moments that matter to them, or like the things that light them up about their kids that they don't want to forget. Like if it doesn't have to be just a birthday or a major milestone celebration. It could be just how tiny your kids hands, like how big a rock looks in your kid's tiny hands. You know, it could be something like that
So
as an
sweet.
MVP, but you can
Mhm.
focus on making sure you have those saved. And I have them saved by year. Like I'll just go in and just be like, these are my favorites of my MVPs of 2022 and my MVPs of 2024. And I make sure that those are the first things that are backed up. And then you just kind of go backwards. I like look at different milestones that are coming up as a great time to go and find those specific pictures. Like we're coming up on our 10-year wedding anniversary at the end of the week. And now would be a great time for me to go through and like pick one photo every year. That's it. Like just give myself that one task of getting 10 photos, like not having to get a million, but like search my husband's face. Like I don't have as many pictures of him on here, but like poor guy.
As the years go on, their face becomes less than
He's not even in family photos anymore. No, but I do love him. But you can go in, like I use Google to back up my photos just because I like their AI so much. I find the best version of facial recognition, identifying objects or locations. Like you can type in frog on Google and it'll pull up a picture of like a pond in a time there was a frog. Like if you took a picture of it. So you can get really creative of different keywords to search to find the images that you're looking for. So if it's not popping up that one time you were at a restaurant, I don't know, you could look up a certain thing.
Do you work with people just to teach them this, or?
Yeah, so I offer one-on-one consultations to help people identify what's most important and go through a system to be able to find their photos. I also have a photo tracker that I'm happy to share too. It's one of the most downloaded items I have on my website right now. It's a place that I've learned like to start using this because you start to quickly lose track of where everything is, especially if you have them printed, they're in your mom's basement or they're up in the attic or they're somewhere that they shouldn't be. Like side note, like things should not be in places where the temperature isn't controlled. So attics are often places where it can get too hot or too cold or moisture can get in and it can damage your pictures if they're not protected. Or garages, those are like the top two places to just instantly get them out. Basements, you just don't want them on the floor. As long as like it's a finished basement, it's okay. But it's just important to just know where your photos are. And this photo tracker helps you just as you're going through these MVP moments to be like, oh, that trip to Destin is on this hard drive. It's on that one. Here it is. And I did back it up, and you can check a box and be like, it's backed up on Google. So you know it's in two places, and you can kind of give yourself this running list of what you need to do as you're going. So it's not so overwhelming when you have the 2 seconds to work on it.
Well, it's almost like it has to become a habit too. When I was on the plane, I had no Wi-Fi and I was going through my pictures. And it, like you said, I wanted to hear about that little hand. I found all these pictures and videos of when like the kids were like 5 and under and was like, oh my gosh, they grow so quickly. Like even within a year, I was trying to get a picture of my middle son from a year ago and he looks so different. So it's almost like, do you recommend to your clients going through it, whatever works for them? Maybe it's like a monthly basis. It's something you do every month or when you come back from vacation or your milestones or, you know, because you have to, for Nicole and I to go back 15 years, it's going to be a big undertaking. I don't want to have to do this 30 more years or I won't even know. I remember thinking when we first had, this is so silly, when we first had digital phones and I printed all those pictures of Baker when he was 5 and I was like, I'm not going to need those photos. Well, how are we going to send people digital photos? Like I had no clue like that would really be something like I'd be sending his kindergarten picture for the yearbook. I thought we'd still have to print them. So I was like, I'm on top of this. So I think like I'm going to put this on my list to do every first of the month. I think I'm going to do that.
It's a great way
if
to
I
start
have 10
trying.
minutes, I'll do it. Yeah.
Oh, you will? You're so good.
Especially if you're in a line. I think we're going to be traveling a little more, but I love when you're on a plane because I feel like that's the most uninterrupted time to go through and do it. And I think if you're like preparing for a plane trip, think about what ones you want to go find and seek them out first, you know, because you can just do search terms or just focus on just Baker because his birthday's coming up and like look just for only pictures of him and then go through that fast. There's a system I call the daily delights that I designed for myself when I was going through postpartum. It was like a way of me getting off of Instagram in the middle of the night. So instead of like laying down in my bed the second I could go to sleep and grabbing my phone and scrolling Instagram, I would go through my camera roll and look at what pictures I took that day. And I would, as I would go through, I would just put a heart on each one that I loved. Like, and then I would zoom out, and all the ones that didn't have a heart, I would click on and delete, and they would be gone. So what would happen was all that was left was just the things that lit me up in my camera roll. And you would just really fast see, like, only every time you open it up, it's just the good ones. And it was a fast way to start getting a little bit of control over that chaos of all the like screenshots and the blurry photos and the things that don't matter that are getting backed up to the cloud and story, like wasting all your storage everywhere. It like helps to start tackling that a little bit. And it has the side benefit of like showing you how much good is in your world that you might not have really realized when you just were snapping a quick picture. So it's a new way to reframe it a little bit.
I love that for new moms, for older moms, for everything. I like that because that's like I was going back to 6 years ago and I was finding that daily delight. Ooh, I like that. And I realized the best is when your kids would take our phones when they were little. And literally, there was 50 pictures of the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, boys, I'm going to kill you. Or like, it was when the phones first came out or they were doing like, they're doing TikToks. Or I don't even know what was on my phone. I'm like, wow, this is before they had phones. It's really, really, maybe I should go through my kids' phones. We should go through our boys' phones.
Look out. No.
I don't know. I will see everything that's on my teen phone. But I'll tell them
they can do it.
Clean up, yeah.
Tell them you're
They can have their own daily delights, you know.
Yeah. I like that because photos can make you happy. And I just was reading something that was like, also don't wait, like especially we talk about our parents getting older and stuff. Don't wait for something. It's like those moments when you have to go find those photos, like don't wait till a moment when someone passes or, you know, so I keep a lot of albums in my phone. That's what I'm trying to do. Like I have ones of Alex and I, or this or that, you know, whatever, cooking, different things that I'm trying to do the albums in my Google phone.
In your Google Photos? Your Google phone.
No, my phone. Oh, sorry, my phone. My iPhone.
I was like, I thought you had an iPhone. No, like no.
Google Photos. I'm like, that's a little high tech for me.
No, I think that's a helpful way to find them really fast when you need them. And it's not being afraid. I remind myself, and it sounds like we've all experienced a loss that's really unexpected, that really changes the perspective of you with every time that you're with people. Like it's making sure that you take the picture, even if you're like, didn't do your hair and the kids are screaming and you're just hold them in just to get a shot. Like take the picture or just get in it yourself with the person. And like, that's okay. Like there might be a next time, which would be great, you know, but if there's not, at least you have these moments together and like, you're not being shy to share the love that you have with the person that you're with.
Right. And when you look back, you'll look at it with a different lens. Because I look at pictures of like when in the newborn pictures and I was just so tired. And a lot of the pictures, I'm like trying to get my head out of the picture, but I'm like, why? Like it was just a season. I mean, you don't realize it until after the fact, but yeah, get in the picture.
Yeah. Oh,
I love this. So where can our listeners find you?
So you can find me over on Instagram. I love hanging out there as much as when my daily delights are done. No, I'm not good at it. I've definitely fallen off the bandwagon on those, but I try. But Instagram, you can get me in my DMs over on it's Frame of Life Project on Instagram. And then my website is frameoflife.co. And I'd love to connect with your listeners because they're all awesome.
It'd be good. But so you do different things for business owners, right? You can do content creation for them monthly or seasonally, and then also for just moms or whoever who want to organize their photos. She has the tracker, and she can do one-on-one sessions or help you sort of eliminate the overwhelm of like us, like 15 years of photos that we don't know what we're going to do with, and also staying with the times and realizing how to store these photos, right? I think that's important, especially a lot of midlife moms. This is where I saw this was don't wait for your child's graduation from high school to look at all the photos, right? Yeah. So like a lot of us have kids that are freshmen in high school. I'm not going to put this off. Maybe that's a little project, like, right? I'll find all these pictures of Baker and organize that first, like take bite-sized things to do it, but don't wait until senior year, because then we're going to be scrambling and probably send pictures that just to do it, right? Instead of enjoying it, right? So,
and crying your way through it.
Yeah, no, I had to get off after 2 months, you guys, of the pictures from 2016, because I was like, I was sitting next on the airplane to my big kids, and I'm like, this is like, I was like wanting to be like a grandma. I was like, okay, this has to be done. I'm done right now. I'm like, these kids are so cute. I just want them for like one day, you know?
Yeah, just one day.
just one day, and then give them up. Okay, so it is time for unsolicited advice. There's so much goodness in this, in the photos. You're really like inspiring me and motivating me to do a lot of things. Nicole, what would be your unsolicited advice?
I think for me personally, the easiest thing that I started with, and I think this is a good starting point for people. You could correct me, Kira, but starting an album. So just maybe start a couple of albums. Like maybe if you have kids, just start with like your oldest and kind of look in the search button, get the facial recognition, and just start putting things in there. And then as you build, it'll just become a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
routine?
Intentional?
Routine, yes. Not intentional, routine. Like we do it without thinking, whatever that word is.
Yeah.
Routine? Yes.
Habitual? Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a bit more of a habit. Yes. Okay. Yes. How about you, Alex? What's your unsolicited advice?
I have no advice for storing pictures or anything like that, but I would say my advice would be take the photo. Take the photo, right? Yeah. And take the video of, even if it's with your friends, even if it's this, and just tell them you won't post it anywhere, and especially your kids. But just to have that, I think just the video, I just love seeing people's expressions and little kids' voices, or this or that. Like you can't replace that, right? You just can't. And I think
those little voices,
if you're feeling like, a happy time, just do it. Even if you see something, like I'll take videos of some scenery that I like, just like things like rainbows or, the ocean, things like that. Like just, it doesn't always have to be people in it, just things that really bring you joy and make you happy, or food. I do a lot of food. So I think take the photo would be mine. Take the video, take the photo. Don't miss an opportunity. So
no. And I think once you get that photo, like enjoy the moment, don't focus on getting another angle of the same photo so much. Just get it and get out and enjoy that time that you have.
Don't have it be perfect, right? Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like just, you'll remember that moment. I love that. Okay. So if you had to give us one advice for these midlife ladies, what would be yours?
I know. I'm like,
she gives so many.
Help us.
So many.
Already.
Help us all.
I think what's making me still anxious is that we haven't talked about backup, and I want people to back up their photos, because we might not have time right now to go get them. But like, if your phone drops in or you delete everything, like on iCloud, like if you delete a photo off of your camera roll, it deletes it off the cloud and it's gone. So like, you don't have a backup if you haven't added Google Photos or Amazon Photos, or if you're not connecting your phone to your computer and getting them on an external hard drive. So that would be my one piece of unsolicited advice for people, is like, get a backup, use protection.
And you have a good suggestion. I was looking for it in my office. I bought this drive that you said to buy.
Yahoo! I love these things. The orange ones, right? Yes. I love that one.
Yeah.
Okay. They're fantastic. Okay. And they just like, I have like 7 of them, maybe more right now around me. I'm a crazy order. But I witnessed it this month. Like I've needed to go to multiple of my drives to get pictures from 10 years ago for clients. And thank God I had it, because they just evaporated, and they're important. You've taken these photos for a reason. So protect them.
So back up, ladies.
Back it up.
Well,
wrap it up.
You.
Back it up.
Wrap it up.
Thank you. Protect yourself. Well, thank you for coming. This was so awesome. And I know you have more tips. So visit her Instagram, message her. She'll answer you right back. It's really her too. It's really her. So, all right, ladies, we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Kiera.
Bye.